Mark, who is this? And what do you mean crumbs? You haven't sent me a single kobo in 3 years. I built this house with my sweat and blood.
You might be wondering how we got here. I am Grace, and I am a tailor. I sold my father's land to send my husband abroad. What he did to me broke me. This is how it all started.
Grace, I can't keep living like this. Look at you, a brilliant tailor working 18 hours a day to feed a husband who can't even find a job as a clerk. I am a man, Grace.
We will survive. Lagos was not built in a day.
Lagos is not for me, Grace. Canada is the answer. I have a contact.
I am supposed to be your cover, your shade. But look at me, I am just a shadow. If I can get into a master's program in Toronto, our lives will change forever. In 2 years, you will be walking the streets of Ontario, wearing furs and breathing air that doesn't smell like burning tires.
That night, the seed was planted. But dreams in Nigeria require more than just hope. They require a brutal amount of capital. We needed 7 million naira for the first installment of tuition, proof of funds, and the visa process. To a woman living in a face me, I face you apartment in Mushin, 7 million naira might as well have been 7 billion. But I had one thing. I had the land my father had left me in Ikorodu. It was my only inheritance, my just in case for the future. Against the advice of my mother and the warnings of my elder brother, I sold it. I sold my father's legacy and poured every kobo into Mark's dream. I worked until my fingers bled, sewing traditional outfits for the wealthy women in Ikoyi, skipping meals and saving every penny to pay for his flight and his initial upkeep abroad. The day I dropped Mark at Murtala Mohammed International Airport, the air was thick with the scent of aviation fuel and tears. He held me so tight, I could hear his heart beating against my chest.
Grace, I swear by the God we serve, I will never forget what you have done for me. You are not just my wife, you are my savior.
In 6 months, I will start your processing. We will be together again.
Just go and succeed, Mark. That is all the reward I need.
For the first 6 months, Mark was the perfect husband. We spoke every day on WhatsApp. He told me about the biting cold of Toronto, the difficulty of the courses, and how much he missed my jollof rice. I continued to send him money, small amounts scraped together from my tailoring business, because he claimed he hadn't found a part-time job yet.
The bills here are crazy, Grace. If you can just send another 50,000 naira this month, I'll be able to pay my phone bill and the heating. I love you, my queen.
And like a fool, I sent it. I lived on gari and groundnuts so that my husband could stay warm in Canada. But by the end of the first year, the calls began to thin out. I'm busy with exams became I'm working double shifts, which eventually became total silence. My messages would stay undelivered for days, the 2 blue ticks mocking my anxiety. When he did call, his voice sounded different. The soft Lagos lilt was being replaced by a forced, fake accent.
Grace, look, I can't talk right now. The data is expensive and I have a presentation.
Stop choking me with these constant messages. I am working for our future.
Then, the ghosting became absolute.
Is not available.
Mark deactivated his Facebook. He changed his WhatsApp number. I called his mother in the village and she claimed she hadn't heard from him either, though her voice sounded suspiciously comfortable, not the voice of a mother worried about her missing son.
I was devastated. But I am a Nigerian woman.
We do not lie down and die. If my husband had abandoned me, I still had a life to live. I poured my grief into my work. My tailoring business, Graceful Stitches, began to thrive. I moved out of Mushin and rented a decent shop in Surulere. I saved, I invested, and 3 years after Mark left, I bought 2 plots of land in Mowe. I didn't just buy the land, I built on it. It wasn't a palace, but it was a solid, beautiful 3-bedroom bungalow with a perimeter fence and a sturdy gate. I moved in 6 months before the roof was even fully painted. It was my sanctuary, the physical manifestation of my resilience. I had survived the ghosting of the man I loved. Then came the Tuesday that changed everything. I was in my front yard watering the small garden I had started when a brand new black Toyota Prado SUV pulled up to my gate. My heart skipped a beat. This was Mowe. People here didn't usually drive cars that looked like they belonged in a convoy. The gate was open and the car drove straight into the compound. The door opened and a man stepped out. He was wearing a heavy designer tracksuit despite the blazing Lagos heat and oversized sunglasses. Behind him, a woman stepped out of the passenger side. She was light-skinned, her hair a cascade of blonde weave, wearing a dress so short it was almost scandalous. The man took off his sunglasses. It was Mark. He looked different, fuller in the face, his skin abroad fresh and glowing. But it was him. My heart soared for a microsecond before I saw the way he looked at me. It wasn't the look of a husband returning to his wife. It was the look of a landlord inspecting a dilapidated property.
Mark! Mark! You're back?
Grace, I see you've been busy. Not a bad little house you've put up here with the crumbs I left you.
Is this the one, darling? She looks exactly how you described, very local. Mark, who is this? And what do you mean crumbs? You haven't sent me a single kobo in 3 years. I built this house with my sweat and blood.
Your sweat? Grace, let's be realistic. You are a tailor. How much can a tailor make?
We both know this house was built with the money I was sending home through my mother. I just didn't tell you I was sending it to her to keep for me.
That's a lie. I have every bank statement. I have every receipt from the laborers.
It doesn't matter what you have, Grace. According to the law of the land, we are still married. And as the head of the family, what is yours is mine.
But more importantly, I have news. This is Chloe. She is my wife, my real wife. We got married in Toronto 6 months ago.
You have another wife?
I am a man who has moved up in the world, and I have come to take what is mine. Chloe and I are moving back to Nigeria to start a business. We need a place to stay while our mansion in Lekki is being finished. You have 48 hours to pack your things and leave this house.
You want to kick me out of my own house? It's not your house, Grace.
Mark says the land was bought while you were married. In Canada, we call this matrimonial property. But since you were just a placeholder wife, we're being generous.
We won't sue you for the money you've obviously stolen from Mark's remittances.
48 hours, Grace. Don't make me bring the police. It would be embarrassing for a successful tailor like you to be dragged out of Mowe in handcuffs.